أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Jewish Dibbuk. This next video surfaced on a mysterious YouTube channel with a name written in Hebrew letters. Uploaded in 2016, it documents an exorcism that took place 2 years prior, one of many eerie encounters with the supernatural. In Jewish mysticism, exorcisms are performed by a mekubal, a learned figure even more versed in sacred traditions than a rabbi. And in this video, a mekubal named Rabbi Menashe takes center stage, draped in multiple pairs of tzitzit. He is not alone. A group of men stand beside him, their purpose clear. Together they have come to expel a Dibbuk, an unquiet spirit, a soul torn from the afterlife that has latched onto the body of the living. At the heart of the ritual sits a young woman, her face vacant, her movements tense and unnatural. By her side, a woman presumed to be her mother watches helplessly. At first, all is still, until Rabbi Menashe steps forward. The moment his presence looms over her, something changes. The woman begins to tremble, her hands twitch, her shoulders jerk. It starts small, almost imperceptible. But then the chanting begins. Rabbi Menashe and his group encircle her, their voices rising in sacred recitation. As if triggered by an unseen force, the woman convulses violently, her limbs flailing as though caught in an invisible grip. Then, with a force that seems beyond human, she is thrown from her chair. The men restrain her, preventing her from hurting herself or anyone else. But the chants do not stop. They grow louder, faster, more insistent. The woman's convulsions worsen. Her screams pierce through the room, inhuman, guttural, filled with a pain no living thing should endure. Yet the chanting does not waver. The group begins to rock, their heads shaking in unison, their voices harmonizing into a thunderous force. Rabbi Menashe kneels beside the writhing woman, his voice cutting through like a blade. The Dibbuk thrashes within her, unwilling to leave. The atmosphere tightens around them. The temperature in the room seems to drop. Then the chants shifted to Tzai, Tzai, which means go out, go out. The words strike like hammer blows. Hands clap in rhythmic unison, as if beating the spirit into submission. The screams reach an unbearable peak, twisting, warping, almost layered, as though more than one voice is shrieking from the same throat. Then, silence. A hush falls over the room, broken only by ragged breaths. Rabbi Menashe watches closely, searching for any lingering sign of the Dibbuk. The group waits, their bodies tensed, their voices held back. Then, at last, Rabbi Menashe says, "She is free." A new chant begins, this one different, triumphant, victorious, a declaration that the battle is won. This footage is a chilling reminder that demons are not confined to a single land or faith. They exist everywhere, and every culture has its own way of sending them back to the darkness. This next video documents a Muslim Sheikh facing off against a demon far more stubborn than this one. Converted Demon. The video was uploaded to the YouTube channel Muslim All Day on December 16th, 2010, documenting an unsettling exorcism session, one unlike any before it. Unlike the cases where the possessed are restrained, this man sat freely, unbound, as if nothing was wrong. But that illusion shattered the moment the Sheikh began his recitation.
أو زاعما حقا مطلعا هذا كتاب الله ينطق علينا وعليكم بالحق إنا كنا نستنسخ ما كنتم تعملون ورسلنا يكتبون ما تكتمون اتركوا هذا الجسد الآدمي وانطلقوا إلى عبدة الأصنام وإلى من يدعو مع الله إلها آخر لا إله إلا هو كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه له الحكم وإليه ترجعون.
Almost instantly, the man's demeanor shifted, his expression darkened, his eyes flickered with something unnatural, and his breathing grew labored. The Sheikh was not addressing the man before him, he was speaking to the entity within. He commanded it to leave, confronting it as either a twisted lover, a vengeful rebel, or a spirit clinging to some long-refuted claim. The recitation of the Holy Quran continued, each verse striking the entity like a lash. The man visibly recoiled, his face twisting in pain. His muscles tensed, his fingers twitched, but still the Sheikh pressed on. Then he invoked the Adhan, the powerful Islamic call to prayer. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, once said that when the Adhan is proclaimed, Satan flees, unable to bear the sound. And so it happened.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح.
The moment the Adhan rang out, the man let out a guttural, blood-curdling scream, but the Sheikh did not relent. He returned to reciting the Quran, bombarding the entity with relentless verses. The man's body began to buckle under the assault. His strength drained, his legs gave out, and he collapsed onto his knees. He clutched his stomach, his fingers digging into his abdomen as if something inside was burning him alive.
وأن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه. بسم الله أرقيك والله يشفيك من كل داء يؤذيك ومن عين كل حاسد.
Throughout all this, the Sheikh remained at a distance, allowing the words alone to do their work. But when the man's pain became unbearable, he approached, placing a bowl in front of him. The man gagged, his body convulsing, his mouth opening in a desperate attempt to purge something from within. But nothing came, at least not yet. A demon is not like a poison that can simply be expelled. It is something far worse, something that seeps into the very soul, latching on like a parasite. Then the Sheikh called out the Adhan once more. This time the effect was immediate. The man's entire body seized up and suddenly he began vomiting. The convulsions racked his frame as he expelled something thick, dark, and grotesque. The sound of it hitting the bowl was sickening.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Minutes later, the camera captured the contents of what had left his body. It was unspeakable, a gory, unnatural mess, proof that what had possessed him was more than just an affliction of the mind. But the exorcism was not over. Vomiting had weakened the entity, but it had not banished it entirely. Now that its grip had loosened, the Sheikh demanded answers. A rasping, otherworldly voice emerged from the man's lips. The demon identified itself. It had lived for 60 years and had entered the man's body a week before his wedding, 4 years prior. Worse still, it had not come alone. It had brought 6 others, acting as its guards.
أنت لوحدك؟ أنت وحراسك؟ كم عددهم؟
The interrogation continued, with the Sheikh forcing the entity to confess how it had entered, how it viewed Islam, and more. The replies were slow, garbled, nothing like the man's normal voice. It was clear that whatever had control of his body was something else entirely.
الساحر عن طريق الطعام ولا عن طريق الشراب ولا عن طريق ماذا؟
As is customary in Islamic exorcisms, the Sheikh preached to the demon, calling it to faith before banishing it. A conversation took place between exorcist and entity, one far more chilling than any physical struggle.
عاوز تسلم؟ أنا مش فكرك على الإسلام، لا إكراه في الدين. عاوز تسلم ولا عاوز تخرج مسيحي؟ أخرج مسلم بس تعبيني مش عارف. الساحر لا يستطيع أن يعمل لك شيء. تريد الخروج؟ أول شيء أنطق شهادة لا إله إلا الله وأنا محمد رسول الله. وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله. عليه الصلاة والسلام. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
Then at last, the jinn made its final move. It exited through the man's left foot.
يلا بسرعة. والسلام عليكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء.
The Sheikh continued reciting, ensuring the jinn had truly departed. The tension in the room was suffocating. Then, without any difficulty, the man sat up. It was over. His face looked different. His voice, steady, human, was nothing like before. When asked why he had clutched his stomach so desperately, his answer was exactly as expected.
الحمد لله على السلامة. كنت تشكي من ايه انت؟ قد ايه صار لها؟
رجعت 4 سنين بدماغي ناشف جسمي كله
But if you thought this exorcism was terrifying, it isn't always. The next video made us know that. Real Jinn. This final video, uploaded to YouTube on March 5th, 2025 by a user named Omer, begins innocently enough. A serene scene of Muslim worshippers engaged in salat, their voices unified in prayer, as the Imam recites the Holy Quran in a melodic tone. But something in the first row is wrong. Among the worshippers, just behind the Imam, stands a man wrapped in a white turban. Unlike the others who remain still in reverence, this man sways, his body trembling, his movements erratic. Instead of standing firm like the rest, he bows repeatedly, as if something unseen is forcing him down. Then, it becomes clear. The verses being recited are not simply heard by him, they are attacking something inside him. The Imam continues, his voice unwavering, yet the effect on the man grows worse. His body weakens with each passing verse, his knees buckling as if the weight of the words is pressing down on him. The tension in the room thickens. Worshippers begin to notice. Heads turn. Then, without warning, a scream shatters the air. The man collapses forward, crashing to the ground. His face slams against the prayer mat, his arms twitching, his breathing ragged. And yet, around him, the others remain standing, locked in their devotion, unwilling to acknowledge the horror unfolding in their midst. Even the Imam falters. Overwhelmed by the sheer meaning of the verses, he stops momentarily, drawing in a breath. But he does not let up. He must not let up. He resumes reciting, and the moment he does, the man shrieks again, louder, rawer, as though the sound itself is burning him alive. Then, as the agony reaches its peak, the man claws at his own head. His fingers tear at the turban, yanking it off as if trying to release the unbearable torment from within. His body trembles, racked with pain beyond human comprehension. The video cuts off there. No resolution, no exorcism yet, just the lingering, unsettling knowledge that something inhuman had been lurking within that man all along. And now it has been exposed. Speculation runs wild. Viewers debate the outcome. But one thing is certain, this is far from over. Soon, an exorcism must be arranged to drive out whatever clings to his soul,